You see them every single day, right? Those familiar mail trucks. They're just part of the streetscape, bringing letters, packages.
Absolutely. Such a constant presence, you almost don't even notice them anymore.
Exactly. But have you ever really thought about how many there are? Just constantly moving through our neighborhoods, our highways.
It's a huge fleet.
It really is. And that's what we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive into HR 758. It's officially called the Mail Traffic Deaths Reporting Act of 2025.
Right. And it sounds specific, but it touches on something pretty broad. Public safety and transparency.
Yeah, it's not just about postal workers, though obviously their safety is critical. It's about this piece of legislation trying to shed light on, well, a surprising gap in our understanding of road safety.
Our mission today is basically to unpack this bill. We want to look at, what it aims to do, how it got through Congress or just getting through Congress, and what it actually requires from the U.S. Postal Service.
And what it means for us, just living our lives alongside these vehicles.
Exactly. It really boils down to getting solid data. You can't really fix a problem if you don't know the scale of it, right? And this targets a definite blind spot.
Okay, so let's unpack that blind spot. What's the core issue HR 758 is really trying to fix here? Why was this data missing?
Well, it's kind of staggering when you think about it. We track so much data about road accidents. Commercial trucks, cars, bikes, you name it.
Detailed stats, usually.
Right. But for crashes involving vehicles specifically transporting mail, despite the USPS having one of the biggest civilian vehicle fleets anywhere.
Hundreds of thousands, isn't it?
Easily. Yet there was no specific requirement for public reporting on deaths and injuries from those crashes. It was basically invisible in the public data sphere.
Wow. So was it necessarily hidden, just not collected and shared publicly?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Probably more of an oversight, maybe a historical thing where internal tracking just never made the jump to public transparency. HR 758 directly confronts that and says the USPS needs to start collecting, tracking, and this is key, publicly reporting this info.
Publicly, that's the big shift.
It is. It's
Yeah.
about filling that data void so we can actually understand the risks properly.
That really does hit home. It makes you wonder what other policy areas might be working without the full picture because the basic data isn't mandated. It shows how vital that groundwork is.
Absolutely. Data is foundational.
So if we know there's this gap, what exactly does HR 758 make the USPS do to fill it? What are the mechanics?
Okay, so the bill sets up a pretty clear three-part system.
Right.
First, there's mandatory incident reporting. This means if a USPS employee or even a contractor driving a mail vehicle is in a crash that causes an injury or, God forbid, a death, they have to report it. And they have to do it fast within 3 days.
3 days. That's a tight turnaround.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's crucial for getting accurate details. Weather, road conditions, exact location, what happened, that stuff fades fast. So quick reporting means better quality data right from the start.
Okay, so step one, fast, mandatory reporting. What's next?
Step 2 is building on that. The USPS has to maintain a comprehensive internal database. And we're not talking just a simple list.
Needs to be more robust than that, I imagine.
Exactly. Think of it as a central hub for all the details about these incidents. Not just counting them, but capturing specifics of what kind of vehicle, time of day, road type, maybe even contributing factors if known.
So you can start seeing patterns.
Precisely. The goal is a rich data set. Maybe certain routes are riskier, or specific vehicle types have issues, or crashes peak at certain times. This lets them analyze trends and hopefully develop targeted ways to prevent future incidents.
Makes sense. Get the data, store it effectively. What's the third part?
The third part is the annual public report. This is where it really comes back to transparency. Every year, the USPS has to release a summary of all the injuries and deaths reported under this system.
Ah, okay. So the public gets to see the big picture.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's huge.
Yeah.
It's accountability for the agency, sure, but it also empowers everyone else. Policymakers, safety groups, even local communities can see the data.
So if my town sees a spike in incidents at a particular corner involving mail trucks,
You'd have the data from this report to back up calls for, say, a traffic light or maybe different routing. It turns concerns into actual data-driven conversations and potential solutions.
that's really practical. It takes it from anecdote to evidence, like a public health report, but for this specific aspect of road use.
That's a great way to put it.
So we have the data collection, but the how does a bill like this actually become law? You mentioned its journey. Can we trace that? It's always kind of fascinating to see the process in action.
Yeah, the legislative process can seem complex, but HR 758 gives us a good concrete example. It started, like all bills, with its introduction. That was back on January 28th, 2025.
Okay, beginning of the year.
Right. Introduced in the House of Representatives by Representative Gerald Connolly, a Democrat from Virginia. That step officially puts it on the legislative map.
And then it goes somewhere specific, a committee.
Exactly. Its first stop was the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right? It deals with how a federal agency, the USPS, operates.
Standard procedure.
Yeah. Committees are where the nitty-gritty often happens, hearings, debates, amendments. For a bill like this, which seems pretty focused and maybe less controversial,
Less partisan, maybe?
potentially, it might have moved through committee relatively smoothly compared to, some other issues.
Okay, so after committee.
Then came the big step,
Huh?
House passage. This happened on March 3rd, 2025. The bill passed the House.
How did the vote go? Was it close?
Actually, no, not at all. It passed under something called a motion to suspend the rules. That's usually for bills with wide support, speeds things up. And the vote was overwhelming. 402 in favor, only 16 against.
402 to 16. Wow. That's incredibly bipartisan.
It really is. You don't see margins like that every day. It tells you there's broad agreement that, this reporting is needed. It signals this isn't really seen as a political football, more as a common sense safety measure.
That kind of consensus is pretty remarkable. Okay, so we passed the House. Where does it go next?
Across the Capitol building, basically. On March 4th, the very next day, it was officially received in the Senate.
Okay.
And just like in the House, it got referred to a committee. This time, the Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs. Again, logical fit overseeing federal agencies.
So it's in the Senate committee system now, undergoing review there.
That's right. And according to the legislative tracker, the next steps would be, ideally, passing the Senate committee, then passing the full Senate, then going to the president's desk to be signed into law.
So still a few hurdles, but that strong House vote must give it some momentum.
You'd think so. That level of bipartisan support is usually a very good sign.
Okay, stepping back from the legislative mechanics, let's talk about the bigger picture. We've said it's important, but why does this specific bill, focused on mail trucks, really matter to someone listening right now? Maybe someone driving kids around or just commuting.
That's the key question, right? The so what? And there are a few layers. First, it's fundamentally about road safety for everyone.
Not just postal workers.
Not at all. These vehicles share the road with all of us, drivers, pedestrians, cyclists. Collecting detailed data helps identify risks that affect everyone. If we learn, say, that accidents often happen when mail trucks are making certain types of turns, that insight isn't just for the USPS. It could inform how cities design intersections or highlight risks other delivery fleets, Amazon, FedEx, you name it, should train for too. It makes the whole system potentially safer.
So the data has ripple effects for general road safety.
Definitely. Second, it's about government accountability. The Postal Service is huge, with a vast fleet. Requiring public reporting holds them accountable for safety in a very visible way.
It pushes them to be proactive?
You'd hope so. It encourages them to use the data to actively reduce incidents. And it builds public trust, showing they're committed not just to delivering mail, but doing it safely and transparently.
Okay. Safety, accountability. What else?
Well, third, it's crucial for informed policymaking. This data isn't just interesting, it's actionable. It can inform decisions at all levels.
How so?
Federally, it could influence future vehicle safety standards, maybe even for other commercial fleets. It could shape driver training requirements. Locally, like we discussed, it helps communities pinpoint problem areas and push for changes, new traffic signals, different road layouts, bike lanes. It provides the evidence needed for smarter safety investment.
Right, it guides where resources should go.
Exactly. Its policy classification under government operations and politics really underlines that role. It's about better governance through better data.
And is there a more direct impact for individuals?
I think so, yeah. Finally, it's about empowerment through information. Knowing is empowering. If you live somewhere or commute somewhere and you're worried about safety, this data gives you and your community actual facts to work with. Instead of just saying, I feel unsafe here, you can point to the report and say, look, there's a documented pattern of incidents involving service vehicles right here. That strengthens your case for demanding action, for advocating for safer streets in your own neighborhood.
It gives people a tool for change.
Precisely. It moves the needle from anxiety to informed advocacy.
So HR 758, the Mail Traffic Deaths Reporting Act, it really feels like more than just a bureaucratic requirement. It seems like a genuinely important step for transparency, for safety, for all of us sharing the roads with those ubiquitous mail trucks.
I think that's right. It's shining a necessary light, making our communities potentially safer one data point at a time.
So, as we wrap up, maybe something to think about.
You consider this. We focused on mail vehicles today because of this bill. But what other areas of public service or even private service fleets that are constantly around us might have similar data blind spots?
That's interesting.
How might gathering and sharing that kind of currently invisible data change how we think about safety in our own communities? How might it reshape our streets, our driving habits, even the design of the vehicles we encounter every day? It makes you wonder what else we could learn just by deciding to look.